Can I see, by a show of hands, how many people out there live in Florida? Yeah? Well, I can't see. And how many people are snowbirds in winter in Florida? Any? Okay, we got 2. Well, maybe you'll understand what I'm about to tell you. Do you know at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the women all go down to the pool in the middle of the condominium, and they get into the pool because it's hot, and they stand around in the pool and they talk. They don't talk together, they get into little groups and they talk. Well, these 2 women are talking and they're having a disagreement back and forth, and one of them says, you know, I think it's the man has more pleasure from sex. And the other one says, no, I think it's the woman who's got more pleasure. And they go back and forth and they can't agree. And they finally say, we're going to go over, there's a lady on the other side of the pool. She's a woman from the world, she travels, she knows the answer to everything. So they wade over to this other woman and they ask her, we're having this disagreement. We can't decide between us. Who has more pleasure from sex, the man or the woman? She says, it's a very simple question. The answer is obvious. She says, how can it be so obvious? She says, look, when you have an itch in your ear and you scratch it, what feels better, the finger or the ear? There's this guy who's out in the country and he's duck hunting. And he sees a duck, and he gets his rifle, and he shoots it. And sure enough, he hits the duck. And the duck lands on a house and falls into a yard. And he walks over, and he climbs over the fence, and he's about to pick up the duck when this big farmer in bib overalls comes out. And he says, what do you think you're doing? He says, I'm getting my duck. He says, that's not your duck, it's my duck. He says, well, I just shot the duck, and it's my duck. And the farmer says, no, that is not your duck, it's on my property, and it is my duck. And the guy says, look, give me a break. I'm from the city, I've been out here for 3 days hunting, and it's the first duck that I've seen, and I just shot it, so give me a break. And the farmer says, well, look, I'll tell you what, I feel sorry for you. We're going to settle this thing country style. And he says, well, what does that mean? He says, well, what we're going to do is this. He says, I'm going to kick you in the groin, and then you can kick me in the groin. And we're going to go back and forth and back and forth. And the last one of it standing at the end, that's the one who gets the duck. And the guy from the city says, well, I got to do what I got to do. So with that, the farmer says, I go first. The farmer goes and he grabs a hold of himself, and he takes a big shot. He kicks the other guy in the groin. And the guy goes, oh, oh. And this goes on for half an hour, and finally the guy gets up and he says to the farmer, okay, it's my turn. And the farmer says, you can keep the duck.